Hey there, teacher friends. I'm here just to help you walk through building your own flipbook. So most of you have done the PD class with myself and Crystal Lorette, and this is just an added resource to help you now that you're on your own. Remember how to do all of this. So a few things to remember before you begin. Make sure you're going to have an idea about your layout. What size do you want your page and what orientation? Are you going to make it landscape like this, or portrait like that? Are you going to make your page size of the same size as a piece of paper, or is it going to be more formatted to fit on a projector screen? And that's completely your choice. I tend to make them the size of a piece of paper because that gives me an option to print out my flip book and it will already be formatted appropriately for paper size. Think about how many pages you want in your flip book ahead of time. That will save you time when you're linking things. If you end up linking your tabs to too many pages and you delete one out, you have to check your links and make sure they're still appropriate. Sometimes when you change them, when you change the number of pages, your links will automatically change. But if you're adding and deleting in kind of funny ways, they don't always do that. So you'll have to go back and check every link. And that can be really time consuming. So a little proper planning can save you a whole bunch of time. Think about what you want on every page. What we're going to do is we're going to end up sort of making a template for a page, and then we'll duplicate that page multiple times so all of your pages will have some of the same formatting. So if you're thinking about background color or texture, color scheme of your buttons, those are your tabs on your flipbook. Any text boxes you want on every page, if you want a home button on every page, places for pictures on every page. If you want some similar things on every page, think about that ahead of time. So when you build your first page, you can just duplicate that and you don't have to go back into every page and add in those features. Saves you a ton of time. Think about where you want your tabs and how many tabs you want. We're going to set up the tabs first, and then we'll duplicate those on the pages just by copying and pasting after we do all the links. So that will save you a bunch of time. But if you end up going back, and I've done this, so personal experience, if you go back and change your mind about which links you want in which order on which pages, it takes a lot more time to undo what you've done and go back and fix it. So try and be thoughtful ahead of time and get those things sort of outlined in your mind or on paper before you build, okay? So we're gonna jump in and build. I'm gonna share my screen with you. My screen is actually over there. I have two screens, so I apologize if I'm not looking at you. So let me just share my screen here, and then we will build one together. Sorry, I'm having a little moment here. Okay. All right, so hopefully at this point you guys can see my screen. So we're in my drive. I'm just going to click new, and I'm going to go to Google Slides. Again, I prefer my slides are the size of a piece of paper, so printing is easier, but you can make your slides whatever size you want to, or just leave them the default widescreen size. If you want to change your page size, go to Page Setup and select Custom, and then make it 8.5 by 11, and that will give you a standard page. So you can use these for any sort of project. You'll basically make a template for kids to fill in, an interactive notebook that you press out through Google Classroom, or a bell ringer book that they fill out every day, and you make one for each week or for the whole year, and you have different tabs selecting your subjects or your weeks or your units. You can use them for a product that you hand out to people. So if you hand out information on open house night to parents in different categories, you can give them a PDF, give them a link to this, or email it out to them ahead of time or after they visited saying, hey, thanks for your visit. Here's the stuff we went over. And you have a flip book that goes over dress codes, school supplies needed, grading policy, units you cover, whatever it is that you give parents on that open house night. You could hand out resources to kids. You could make an alphabetized glossary and have a letter down the side for each glossary page. You could have maps of the world and have the different regions of the world as your different tabs as a resource for kids in a social studies class, or how to solve math equations as a resource for kids in math class, or writing guides in English class, or even computer how-tos, how to make a graph, how to build a table, how to print something using our printers at the middle high school. They have like a cloud print service. So you could use a whole bunch of ideas to put into these flip books. So I'm going to do a simple one here, and we'll do a math equations resource book. So this is what we'll give to kiddos. So on my page, I will type in math equation helper, and we'll say it's for Mrs. Morris's class, and this kiddo has it block 2A. So now I'm ready to, I'm just going to move this up because it's bothering me, but it's not necessary. Now we're ready to format our tabs. So I want 5 tabs. I've decided that in my head ahead of time. So I'm going to select my shape tool and pick a rounded rectangle. I think they look cute as tabs. And I'm going to make my tab shape. And I am going to flip it. I'm going to grab this little handle here, and I'm going to flip it 90 degrees. And if I go slow enough, I can see when it hits 90 degrees. You can also go to the format toolbar and select the shape and then flip it from there. But it's just easier to grab that side. Now I'm going to put it along the side of my paper. And I'm going to copy, Control C, and paste, Control V, until I have 5 tabs that are right next to each other. So I'm going to grab that and move it down here. And you might see those red lines on your document. Those are just alignment indicators letting you know that the shape is aligned to the other shapes that you've placed. It's a really helpful little tool. So I have my 5 tabs in here, but I want them to stretch out the whole length of my page. Instead of trying to guess or measure and go back and adjust all of them, I can select them all by clicking on one, holding down the Shift key, clicking through all my others, and then I'm going to grab this little middle square here. And I'm going to stretch it down to the bottom of my page. And what will happen is now all of my buttons have been resized so they're perfectly equal and they fit from the very top to the very bottom of my page. And so that works really nicely to give us some even spacing. Now I want to change the colors of my tabs because I like to play with color. You can pick any of the colors here. You can do custom colors. So I like rainbow colors because, I don't know, I'm still a 7-year-old girl at heart, I guess. So I have these cute little colorful tabs. Okay, and now I'm ready to type my text over them. So maybe my first page, you might want to make a table of contents. And then my next page would be addition equations and subtraction equations. And I don't know if they teach multiplication or division first, but I'll do multiplication. Multiplication equations and division equations. My text is fine as it is if I like it. I prefer to center my text, so I'll just highlight my text and then I'll click the center align button. While I have it highlighted, I'm also going to change the font because I like cuter fonts, and I'll change the size so it's a little bit more easily visible. So again, I'm centering and changing my font, making it fit oh so nicely in there. I'll try and speed this up real fast. Oops. I don't like when it pops on 2 lines, so I'm going to keep my text just to 1 line, but you guys are certainly welcome to do 2 lines if you find it works better for you. Here we go. Here's our last little guy coming in. Division equations. Okay, so I have my tab set. I have my cover page. I might also change the font on this just to match. And now I'm ready to start adding my other pages. So if you're going to change the background color on your pages, if you're going to add in specific text boxes, we're going to do that to the first page. So I like my white cover, or maybe I want to change it to a different color. I'll change the background to, maybe it's a light gray. There we go. Now I'm ready to add in a page, so I'll just click the plus button over here. And I want to set up my page because I want all of my pages to look the same. So I'm going to give it a descriptive title. I'm going to call it, this is my table of contents. It's my first page. And then I'll have some text, page 1, etc., etc. I'm going to make sure my text is the font that I like. It's the format that I like. I'm going to make that title nice and big. And I want to center that. I like that this text is left justified. I don't want it centered, but I think this is a little too low. I would prefer it was up higher, which means I have more space for text here. And I want to bring this text box down as well because I want as much real estate as I can on there. Maybe I want to change my background color and I want all of my inside pages to be, I don't know. So I want a gray. Maybe this nice light blue is seeming. That's nice. Okay. So now I want all of my pages to look like this. But before I duplicate this page, I want to link my tabs here. So to link a tab, make sure when you link it, you're not clicking on the text. You're actually clicking on just the box. And it doesn't feel very different at the time. But if you only click on the text, you'll see your little cursor there. It means your link will only work if you click on the text. If you click anywhere else on the box, it won't work. And that's really frustrating for kiddos especially. So click on the box, make sure you don't see a cursor there. And you're gonna hit Control K or Insert Link. And then it will say, well, what slide would you like that? I'm so glad you asked. So you can click next slide, but I tend to give them the slide name. So slide 2 is my table of contents, and that's what I'm going to link my table of contents to, and I'm going to click apply. So now, when this is in present mode, or if I save it as a PDF, either way it will work, this red tab is now linked to this table of contents, and I'll show you. So if I click the present mode button, and I click table of contents, voila, there it appears. So now I'm out of present mode and we're ready to edit again. So I need to add in, so I'm going to duplicate these pages. I can do that by selecting Control D for duplicate. Click on this page, Control D for duplicate. And now I get, so I have page 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That will cover, does that cover all my tabs? Let's see, table of contents. Addition, let's change this. Addition equations. Oh, silly me. I put it on the wrong one. See how it appears down there? I clicked on the wrong one. Sorry about that. I should be on slide 3. Addition, equations. Slide 4. Subtraction, equations. Slide 5. Multiplication, equations. And then last but not least, division equations. Okay, so I have all my pages in there. Before I copy my tabs over, I need to link them. So I've linked my table of contents. I'm going to, remember, I'm going to click Control K, and I'm going to link addition equations to the page that says addition equations and apply. So Control K, subtraction equations are going to get linked to subtraction equations, slide 4. Multiplication equations. I'm in present mode on my computer, so it might be hard for me to get there. Let's try that again. I can also type in, since I can't see it on my screen, I can type in slide 4. There we go. Oops, sorry, not slide 4. Silly me. It's slide 5. There it is, slide 5. Apply. And then the last but not least, division equations. I'll type in slide 6. It will let me scroll a little bit better. That's just because I'm in present mode. It's not a big deal. Okay, so now I have all of these tabs linked. I'm going to select them all again by clicking them while I'm holding down the Shift key. Control C for copy. Then I just click on each page. Control V for paste. Again, click down to my additions page. Paste. Subtraction page. Paste. Multiplication page, paste, division page, paste. And so now all of these are linked. If I click on my division page, I can see that this is still linked to additions. So I have all of my pages in my template ready to go for me to type in any information that would be custom to that page. So this is a basic setup. There's lots of fun things you can do. You can embed videos. You can have a home button if you only want certain tabs to show up here, but you want to make sure they can always get home. Any image is linkable. Any text box is linkable. Any shape tool is linkable. So if I wanted to put in a picture, let's say I put in a picture of this molecule. And I know this is just what I had on my desktop. I know it's not math necessarily. And I wanted to link that to a video. I could hit Control K for link, and I could paste in a YouTube video there. I could paste in another tab location. I could paste in a document that's somewhere located on your web page or something like that. So any shape, any image is linkable. So once you have your layout all set, you really can take this as far as you want to. A couple of hints when you're making these. If I'm making this for a kiddo to edit as a project, I include a directions page in there that tells them what they can and cannot do. Like, they cannot change the links. They cannot change the order of the pages, but they can change the font and they can change the color. And that's teacher preference. If you have to add or delete pages after, please remember to check your links and make sure they're still working on every page. If they get broken, fix them on one page, then copy and paste the fixed links onto the other pages. If you are going to send this as a final product to a parent or to students as a resource like this math helper would be, make sure you download it as a PDF. That will essentially give it to them in presentation mode. So I'll do that here real quick and show you what it looks like. Once I download this as a PDF, this is how it would appear to the students or parents. So all of these links work. Yes, they could scroll like you can any document on a computer, but if they want to go straight to subtraction equations, here they go. They need to get straight back to their table of contents or all the way down to division equations. It is a fully linkable document. So all of the links that you have internally in those pages would also work as well in the same way. So I hope that helps you guys. I'm gonna click out of this business. I hope that's helpful to you. If you need any personal help with this, please reach out to me through email, or if you're in the middle high school building, hop down to 612. I would love to go over this with you and help you walk through your first flipbook. They're sort of addictive. So once you do one, you're going to want to think of all these other ways that you can use them. They're super fun. They're kind of interactive. And especially as we're navigating this digital learning thing, it might be a real helpful resource for you and your students. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys create really fun presentations. Take care.